All right, guys, what's going on? Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to our morning note. It is 9:01 Eastern Standard Time, April 21st, 2021. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of G.A.R Capital. Hope everyone's having a great morning. Let's go ahead and talk about market, shall we? Before we begin, bottom right-hand corner of your screen, that little square right there, little icon, click that, subscribe to our channel, like our videos, turn on notifications so you don't miss anything, and let's get rock and rolling here. Dow futures down 58 points, NASDAQ down 41, S&P down 7, Russell 2000 down about 4. Bitcoin futures down about 2.25%, crude oil futures down 2.39%, gold futures down up 0.47%, silver futures 1.16%. Turn on CNBC in my office. Turn the volume. Oh, there it is. Let's see, Forex here, euro dollar down 27 pips, 120.10, and the US dollar yen 108.03. That's where we are currently, and the dollar index is at 0.12% to the upside, 91.34, and the VIX is up 1.34% currently. Okay, just putting on CNBC here for the day. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at what's moving pre-market. Obviously, Netflix is moving because they reported today. Let's see a couple of names that are here. Futu Holdings, they just added more shares to the market. Of course, we know that when they offer more shares, especially when the stock is up, what happens? Dilution of value because there's more supply. The stock is down 3.77%. Let's take a look at the Dow. Apple down 0.28%. Post their presentation for the new iPads, the new AirTag, and the new iMacs. Verizon down 0.41% after their earnings report. Boeing down 0.47%. Microsoft basically flat. Disney down 0.21%. Nike is up after the sell-off yesterday. They were down about as much 3%. United Health continues to grind higher, up a quarter point. And Dow Chemical is slightly green. IBM taking a little bit of a pullback after their stellar earnings report. They're down 0.56%. On the S&P, Netflix down 8% as the stock is now at 506 a share. It had tapped the low of 480. There was a lot of downgrades for the stock, a lot of price target updates, and there were some actually upbeat ones. So pretty much mixed on Netflix. We're going to talk about that here in a second. I talked about that on our aftermarket recap. American Airlines down 0.88%. Obviously, UAL's report yesterday did not help things. Tesla down 1.15%. Bank of America down 0.34%. So it's a pretty ugly price action so far. Applied Material had a positive note, I believe, from Morgan Stanley. They're up about 0.89%. Facebook down about 0.5%. Micron down about 0.47%. And that's where we are currently pre-market. If you guys don't want to take in the land of crypto, here it is. Bitcoin, the last 24 hours, up 0.143%. Binance Coin up about 12. Dogecoin is down about 20% the last 24 hours. At 31 cents. Cardano is up about 2%. Litecoin is down about 2.27%. Ethereum is up nearly 5% at 23.74. So right now it looks like Ethereum is definitely the strength here. You can see it going on here. And anything that's kind of related to Ethereum, I believe, is Chainlink. They're up about 2.89%. So pretty solid all around. Again, with crypto, guys, it's pretty simple. Just buy and hold it. I wouldn't trade it personally. It's just too much going on. So again, I think just buy and hold long term and you'll be okay. A lot of people ask me, what do you think? Just keep it the same two, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and you'll be fine. I mean, sure, you will miss out on some crazy moves with Dogecoin, but Dogecoin's a gamble, guys, at the end of the day. So if you want to gamble, by all means. I don't own any. But again, Bitcoin and Ethereum seems to be the better move. Streaming stocks are down. Amazon is down 0.42%. Comcast down about a quarter point. Walt Disney down about 0.16%. Netflix is down about 8%. They're showing on CNBC. Streaming stocks are taking a little bit of a hit. Even Roku is down as well. So let's go ahead and talk about like the ramifications of Netflix's miss. Netflix missed on subscribers. But again, they're in comparison to last year's Q1, where we had the throes of the pandemic. A lot of people stayed home for Netflix. So, of course, you're not going to have the same kind of comparison, but analysts don't matter, and analysts don't care in that regard, and traders either. So it could be that we've already hit kind of a top on Netflix short term in regards to what more could they do. You're not going to get more subs because you've already had that big boost in subs during the COVID. So what do you do here? I mean, on Netflix, do you trade this thing? I don't think you trade it here. I mean, at the end of the day, it's at 504 and it's really just right here. All it is really respecting the bottom of this channel. If it starts getting to 495, 490, you could possibly play a bounce here, maybe buy some shares if you really like Netflix long term. I've always said Netflix is the weakest of the FANG names, which is Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google. It is the weakest one of all the high flying tech, but Netflix has outperformed all of those in the same relative basis. So again, I own some shares on it. I don't have any qualms about selling it or anything like that. I'm up still about 26% since I bought. My average cost on Netflix when I bought it, just to give you guys some perspective. Netflix, let me take a look. Here. I bought it at 402.51. So I'm still up, let's see, about 25%. I can live with that. Roku just had a report here, unveils Roku Originals brand, bringing bold, fresh entertainment to Roku channel. So Roku now is starting to get into the game of original content. I can't say I like that because of the fact that some of the best things about Roku is that they don't have to pay for content. They're just a provider. So again, it really depends on where they're going to go with this. I love Roku long term. I own it. It's one of my bigger winners. I'm okay with just owning it long term. With Roku here, again, you're just getting back to that downward channel. I've noticed that with a lot of the names that we're getting back to that downward channel. PayPal, same thing. You're starting to looking at here. Again, PayPal's holding up, obviously, but again, that channel break that we got in the beginning of April, that's what we're seeing. So again, a little bit of a pullback. I can't say that's the worst thing in the world, but Netflix, again, a lot of people probably ask me, oh, is Netflix good to get in? If you're looking to buy Netflix on a dip, I think 490 would be prudent. Again, you're looking at the trend line here, so right around 498 would be decent. I have an alert on Netflix at 458. If it does break down, that would be my next support because this is the previous highs from May, and it will just retest that. But again, it is still holding up in that trend line. So again, if you're looking for a level to get into Netflix long term, that'd probably be the level. So again, the subs thing, not a great thing. I think it's still an outlier, still a great company personally. They're buying back more shares, which is kind of different now for a growing company. I mean, they're basically hitting that value wall where they're just going to do buyback stocks. But Apple does too, Microsoft does too, and their growth numbers are basically to the point of what more can they grow. Apple has a little more products that they can do. Netflix is constricted with cash, unlike Apple and Microsoft. So Microsoft was trying to buy Discord. Microsoft was trying to grow different things, but the Discord deal didn't go through. I think Microsoft is still great long term, obviously. If I had to pick between Netflix, Apple, and Microsoft, I'll definitely go Apple and Microsoft over Netflix. I can't say a sell rating on Netflix personally. I would say I'm more neutral on Netflix than anything else. I wouldn't add anymore and I wouldn't sell anymore. So that's a big earnings report that everyone wanted to talk about. I was reading some of it, and that's my 2 cents on it. Let's go and answer some questions. Thoughts on Tesla? Yep, I had the Tesla calls, and it's hurting. Absolutely. Let's go ahead and break it down on the hourly so far since it's pre-market. Right now, guys, it is just holding the 200-day. Really, today is going to tell me a lot. If we continue to the downside, it might be just one of those wash weeks where just a rough one where you got some slight breakouts and then there's breakdowns and then furious selling. So again, it really depends. I would say the time I'm watching would honestly be the opening bell and then from 11:30 to 1:30 because that's when Europe closes. And I've noticed right when Europe closes, we start getting some bids. All the sell pressure is coming during the European session. I've seen a lot of the buys are coming through the Asian session during futures. So again, we need to see exactly how that runs. GM, good morning, boss. Do you think it's going to be a breakout for GME? Okay, so GME, I own shares due to charity. So I own it for charity. And looking at daily here, do I think there's a breakout? There's no technical reason that it should break out. I don't see any reason why it would. Again, you're really just playing it as a gamble too. I mean, look at this volatility here. I mean, could it bounce? I mean, right here, 144, 146.36. That's your 50-day possible. But again, it is just heading downwards if you want to go and chart it. So breakout, I don't see it now. If you start breaking above 200, okay, then we can have that conversation. Tesla, GSG, I'll call. Should we salvage? Well, the market's not open yet. So again, we need to see exactly what we get. That's why I want to see the open. I want to see when Europe closes at 11:30, and I want to see how we continue, and then we can make a decision there. Peloton, let's take a look at it. Looking at Peloton here, we broke below the 200-day. Not the greatest thing in the world, but this was kind of expected for those stay-at-home names. Again, as everything is reopening, maybe more people are going to go to the gym. Do I think Peloton is a decent company? Yeah, I guess. I mean, they have this community going, but it really is just an iPad on a bike for the end of the day. I mean, what's stopping other companies from doing the same? But Peloton has their little branding, which I understand. Looking at Peloton in a broader view, would I want to own it? I don't want to own it. If you do own it and you're up from last May at 30, I would take some profits, absolutely, because I think that as things reopen in the economy, Peloton's going to be hurt, just like Zoom will be hurt. So if you own Zoom and Peloton, it's time to ring the register, 100%. Have you heard Coin being delisted in Europe? Yes, I believe Deutsche Bank was delisting Coinbase for their clients. Does that make a difference to me as a Coinbase shareholder? No, not really. What sector to watch to be bullish today? Looking at sectors for the most part, I mean, we're not open yet, but the only thing that seems to be kind of bouncing or kind of staying relatively strong is small caps. But again, I got beaten down on small caps. I had some futures on it, and I have some IWM, so pretty ugly price action as it just reversed down. Ford, a good investment? I don't think Ford is a bad investment, sure. I don't want to own it. I don't want to own GM or Ford. I'd rather own Tesla, personally, when it comes to a car company. So that's the only car company other than NIO, which is a Chinese car company. If you want to own Ford, cool. They have a lot of cash on their balance sheet with it. I just don't want to own it personally. But if you own it, cool. I'm all for it. Palantir, Tilray, plug, support. Palantir, love it long term. $20 is my support level. I'll be buying more there. Tilray, I just don't know where my glasses are. Here we go. Tilray support is at 1278. I actually added two more THCX yesterday. So again, I love a good deal. And looking at Plug I do not own. Plug support is at 2209. So again, all the momentum names from February are taking a big drawdown. We talked about this with Rocket Mortgage. So really, you're starting to get to the point of breaking below the 50-day moving averages and the major moving averages on these big names, or these momentum names on the daily. Let's see, THCX, yep, I did buy some. Snap earnings, again, I was looking at Snap to possibly buy some calls, but again, 65 needs to break. I didn't buy any, and I think earnings will be a beat on Snap. Do I want to risk my own money to play that? No, I don't. Futu today, do I want to buy puts? It did break the 50-day moving average. Really, all it did here is really just hit this 128, 130 level. Does that mean I want to buy puts here? Probably not. I wouldn't. Airbnb levels to add. I do own that. Airbnb 160 is my add price. Excuse me. Why is the market down this morning? Inflation fears from PG, rising prices. Not as simple as that. I think that what you got was 2 weeks of furious buying, and then we need some kind of catalyst. Obviously, the Netflix earnings, being a big company, was something to watch for. There's a lot of headwinds in regards to virus containment. A lot of it of vaccination is doing well, but again, there's some flare-ups in Brazil and India. So we're not out of the woods yet internationally. I think the United States is obviously faring better with vaccinations, so that should ease fears. Reopening is happening more and more places. But again, guys, we talked about this before. You're not going to get a green candle to the moon. Of course not. That doesn't exist. I think a lot of people need to calm down with that. Take a look at the S&P since last May. We've gone from 2,700 to 4190, almost 4,200. Guys, you're going to get a little bit of a pullback here and there. That's completely normal. If you're a long-term investor, you don't do anything. Nothing has changed. I said the same thing in March. Nothing has changed. You still stay long. You still stay invested. That's my opinion. Good morning, HD, back to the 20 DMA. I don't play the 20 DMA, but I'm looking here. I mean, there's really not much of a pullback on Home Depot. I love the stock. I own it, and I would buy it on weakness. Below 310, 300 would be a nice little buy for Home Depot. Home Depot, you own that long term, just like Lowe's. Good morning. Are you buying some Johnson & Johnson? No, I like Johnson & Johnson, but I don't own it. I got out of the vaccine plays. I had some Pfizer. I had some IBB. I took some profits on it, and I moved on. J&J is really good for one thing, and that's your dividend yield. If you want to get a good dividend yield, I'm all for it, J&J. But other than that, you're not going to get any growth out of it. I mean, you got in from 440 to 166, pretty much, or 170. Not lighting the world on fire. I'd rather have a little more growth. No question. Just want to send some love. Hey, appreciate it. SPY support. If we take a look at SPY, again, look at the daily. Really, the only SPY support is right around 400. There's a gap to fill on SPY. That's a lot to go down. So you're talking about another 12 points. Is that possible? Yeah, sure, it's possible. But is it probable? No. Really, all we're doing is meeting up this trend line here. I had a secondary trend line, and that's still tapped, and now we're back here. So looking at this trend line, really all we're doing is meeting up to around this level, around 411. And is that the worst thing in the world? No. I think, we got way hot really quick. Again, I didn't change anything in my portfolio. Again, just looking at SPY in the long term, nothing has really changed. Blink levels to add. Looking at Blink, my level to add is $20. I definitely would buy a lot more. Thoughts on Apple today? I do own some Apple calls. And again, all we did was play the gap fill. We had a gap fill here on the hourly. It bounced very sharply. It's at 132.51. Let me see if I can bring this up in the hourly, and you can see this gap fill here, and we just bounced. So again, I'm looking to see if we can retake this 50-day, this 100-day moving average. Let's see what the market brings today. I've seen it where the futures are red, and then we flip first thing in the morning. Let's see if we get continuation. Let's look at Dropbox, which is DBX. Looking at Dropbox here on the hourly, pretty much at support. Let's go ahead and bring in a daily. I'm assuming you're asking in regards to an investment. If you're looking to buy some shares, 25.12, 25 seems pretty decent. If you want a deeper discount, 23.88. I think Dropbox is a fine company. They're a cloud-based company. I think there's better options out there. But again, you're looking here for growth. I think Adobe is a better play than Dropbox. That's personal. Mara ride for long-term or swing plays this weekend. Okay, so that's a crypto thing. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. A lot of people don't like that I say this. I'd rather you own Bitcoin itself and Ethereum itself than Mara or Riot. And the only crypto stock that I would want to own is Coinbase, because they are the broker. They're the biggest one that actually provides services to buy crypto. Obviously, you have Square, you have PayPal that do the same thing. And guess what? I own those. But Mara and Riot, all they do is mining. Am I right? They just mine crypto. So that money that you want to put in Mara and that money you want to put in Riot, I'd rather put that in Bitcoin. I'd rather put that in Ethereum or any other crypto that you like. Own the asset, not just the company that finds the asset. Perfect example, I own some Barrick Gold. They're a gold miner. They pay a dividend. Mara and Riot do not. But I also own physical gold. I own coins. I own bars. So what would you find more as a important asset to you? What do you think is more easier for you, or I guess better? Let's just say better being relative. The actual asset itself or the company that finds the asset? I think the asset itself is better, personally. Let's see. Disney levels to add. Disney levels to add, I would add actually right here at the 100-day, which is 179.36. Should be a good level. And I love Disney long term. Love it long term. Loading up on DAL. DAL, again, they have earnings coming up, so I definitely want to see that. They're bouncing off the 100-day. I own shares. I'm still green on it, so I think you stay long Delta. One of the better names of the airlines. Delta and Love, which is LUV, which is Southwest Airlines. Both great companies. Good morning, Carlos. I like Walmart, and I was able to stay above the 200 DMA. Uber just hit the 100 DMA. What are your thoughts on one of the two? Okay, so last question before we set up for the day. Walmart, again, the level I'm looking for in order to play calls, because I want to play that gap fill right around 144, would be the 142 level. 142.26 breaks. Again, that'll confirm the gap fill or trying to go for the gap fill, and then I would play the 145s. Anything more than that, you're going to get chopped up in time decay. So I would just wait on Walmart. 142.26. Yes, it did hold up above the 200. It seems to be closing in on the 100, so I would just wait on Walmart. 142.26, put an alert, and you'll be okay. Uber, I own Uber as well. All it is right now is testing the 100-day, like you stated. Is there anything to trade here? No, I don't think there's anything to trade here. Below 50, I'll go ahead and add more shares. but I think Uber is actually bullish on this chart. The 100-day moving average seems to be that trend line holding it up the whole way. You can see that 100-day has been holding that support the whole way around. So let that 100 be your guide, and I think Uber is a long. What SMAs you use for day trading would be the 50, the 100, and the 200. All right, guys, we'll go and leave it there. Thank you so much for your time. We'll catch you guys later today for our recap for aftermarket. If I didn't do the chart of the day yesterday. I didn't see much people asking for the chart of the day. So if you have one that you want me to go over, go ahead and type up a comment under chart of the day. I'll have the assistant tell me which one it is, and then I'll work on the chart for you. Have a great rest of your day, guys. We'll see you guys soon. Cheers.